trust me, no one wants to see ads, right? No one wants to go through that 10-second YouTube clip that you kind of look at and they click the skip button instantly. So I think paid marketers have to now be super creative to reach out to their customers.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Digital Marketing Musings. Today we have Sachin Singhania, Senior Analyst at Merkle Socrates, and we are going to talk about the importance of going digital first in businesses today. Sachin, I think there are a lot of businesses who are just not partially focusing on digital, but are going all in with their branding, performance, data management, and especially their organic reach. So, what do you
Right.
think is spearheading this change?
Right, Vishali. So I think one of the key factors that we have to understand over here is that currently we see at the top companies right now of the world, right? We have in the top leadership position, we have the people who were born between the age of 1945 to 1970s. And these people have seen, I would say, a traditional sense of marketing when like kind of they were making their marketing plans or when they were making, let's say, their marketing strategies. And moving forward, we have seen that these Gen X and probably baby boomers, as we call them, the generation as we call them, now they're getting replaced by a younger generation who has a more digital outlook to all these, marketing strategies. Because I think they were born in an era where the internet was booming. They were also coming up with ideas through which they could probably reach out to the customer without having a, physical or a tangible presence. So these factors, I think, are very important as we move forward. And I think moving forward, I believe by the year 2025, we'll have a lot of people from the Gen Z era who kind of were born later, I think around the age of 1990s to 2005. They would be kind of coming up and taking key positions in their companies related to marketing and different sales channels as well. So that would kind of cause an impact in the way people now perceive their strategies going ahead. And when we talk about organic or when we talk about any other, let's say marketing channel, it's really important to understand that how can you create more touch points for your users through which they can kind of interact with your brand. They can probably get to know more about your brand. And one more thing that has, I think, come up in today's day and age is that Google has released these rich snippets. It was there for a long period of time, but we have seen that how impactful it has been. Right? Like brands who are basically very small also, if they get a beautiful rich snippet for a targeted keyword, that would kind of increase the brand awareness about that particular brand. And as we used to have billboards back in the days, and today also we have these huge billboards which are kind of at the top of every roadside or wherever we go. I believe that rich snippets are the next billboards of the digital age. So this would help cut the clutter. It would also help brand realize that this is the way moving forward, and I believe that that is kind of spearheading the major change in attitude when we talk about from traditional to digital.
Those are really interesting perspectives, Sachin, especially, the part about rich snippets becoming the next billboards of the generation. So, yeah. So, my next question is why is it important now more than ever for brands to consider organic channels, right? If you could shed light on that part.
Beautiful. So I think one of the major factors that we see in today's day and age is that as you're moving forward, we are becoming a little more data driven. I think the amount of data that is being produced and consumed on a daily basis by us in today's day and age is more than ever. And it would be exponentially increasing only from here onwards. So one of the factors that we have to understand is that if I'm a small brand or if I'm, let's say, a huge MNC, data is going to be the key factor for me. Data is going to be like, water for me, essentially moving forward. If I have to get that particular conversion, if I have to get, those potential customers. And when we talk about data, when we are, let's say, doing organic marketing, the type of data we can get from there would be more intentful. Because people, let's say, who are searching for shoes or who are searching for something else online, they are searching with an intent. Either they need proper information about that particular fact, or they are looking to purchase something about it, or they're doing their own research to know more about this particular brand. And the type of data we can get from organic channels would be, I would say, refined, would be more accurate in terms of targeting these people. And through that, moving forward, I think when marketing becomes like a more tech-driven industry where we have all these beautiful, softwares and all these beautiful technology coming up, like artificial intelligence, that can take up and kind of personalize your experience of marketing. This data would be really helpful because now you have intent-based, high intentful data through which you can kind of target your potential customers. And the second thing I believe that why organic channels have become more important moving forward in the tech digital age is because you'll see the amount of users that we have in India right now who have internet access. it has gone up to a massive amount. And currently also, I believe that there is a huge potential. Approximately, I believe 500 million people have the potential right now who can probably be introduced to the internet and then later on to different social channels. So this particular factor, if we keep in mind, today, if you invest in organic channels, that won't be only an investment in your marketing efforts. This will also be an investment in, I would say, your product, your particular brand, because one thing that you have to understand is marketing in organic is a long-term game. If you are able to get one or two keywords ranked on the first page on the top 3 positions, that is going to stay there forever unless and until you do something fishy. So I think that is one particular fact that you have to take into account. And next, one more thing that you have to understand, as I said in the first pointer as well, that who is your target audience today? If you see, as we are moving forward, the Gen Z generation who were born between the age of I think the year of 1990 to 2005, they are the ones now who are kind of coming and becoming the major target audience for a lot of brands in today's age, right? So if I talk about the B2C segment, they are the ones who are targeting it. So these people are always on their phones. They're always kind of, talking about, brands on social media channels or on other forums. So this is also an important factor that you have to take into account. And that is why I believe that investing in organic right now is one of the best ways to move forward.
That's absolutely fantastic. So my next quick follow-up question is, I've always been curious about how can, paid and organic complement each other in really bringing the effective businesses and increasing revenues for companies or the KRAs that they're looking forward to target.
All right, wonderful. I think this is a very interesting question because if we talk about paid marketing, one of the key advantages in paid marketing is that it gives you instant results, right? I mean, you put an ad today, you spend, let's say, 1 lakh rupees on a particular campaign, and you'll see that in the next 2-3 days, you'll start getting some potential leads. But one factor you have to understand, and some economics concepts come also into play over here, is that inflation is kicking in not only in our retail products, but also in the marketing industry. So we know that brands like Facebook and like YouTube and all these channels, Google is kind of increasing their paid ads. Paid ads are kind of now getting expensive. So there is no doubt that if you take a long-term perspective, small brands cannot afford to spend 1 lakh rupees every day to reach out to their potential customers, right? So this is one factor. Second, I believe, is that Facebook marketplaces and all these other places where you can place your ads, somehow they're getting saturated because, trust me, no one wants to see ads, right? No one wants to go through that 10-second YouTube clip that you kind of look at and they click the skip button instantly. So I think paid marketers have to now be super creative to reach out to their customers. And that is why I believe that a combined strategy is very important. Ensuring that you create long-term content and long-form content for those specific keywords for which you're bidding high. And eventually kind of, do a lot of optimizations and a lot of other organic things to ensure that these keywords start ranking on the first page of Google, so that you don't have to spend your ad money now to get that particular traffic on those pages. It's already ranking on the first page, right? So this is how I think you can kind of combine these two things. And as I talked about, that the amount of money that you will save over there, that is the traffic value of that specific keyword. So that, I believe, would be the key factor moving forward if you want to kind of talk about a synergy in these two channels.
Perfectly articulated, right? I think that answers for my question. So let's bring in the COVID angle also, right? I mean, businesses have been seeing crazy amount of impacts because of all the because of the health crisis that we're seeing, and I want to understand your opinion into how does organic fit in this, or do we want to take another considerations, or so.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a brilliant question. So one thing that I've understood in being like in this industry for almost 2 years is that before, I think when we had to kind of look up, when we wanted to research something about, we used to kind of go to the internet. We used to look up on the internet and we used to get the answers. We used to also talk to our friends. We used to meet our friends in person and kind of take their opinion. But now, due to these unseen virus that we have, COVID has actually acted like a catalyst for the future. So you're not only seeing the tech-savvy youngsters and the tech-savvy individuals and the youth kind of penetrating into more into these digital channels, but you have also seen your parents, your grandparents becoming more tech-savvy. I mean, if you talk about your grandparents, they don't search for a recipe, they don't ask their colleagues, they kind of search it on Google. In fact, our parents also now have started using YouTube a lot, right? So this has now acted like a catalyst, and brands have now slowly understood this, that if we are not present digitally everywhere, then it can affect us. And one of the best ways to be digitally present everywhere is through organic mediums. As I said, that it's a long-term game. So you have to ensure that you're targeting these channels as well. Just to give you a few instances that people used to listen to radios, right? Before, when they were kind of having some doubts, they used to get their news from different radio channels and TV channels. Now, but today, if you see, you have these Google alerts. You can probably enable them. You can probably get Google alerts for a specified industry. You have YouTube, where you can probably put regular videos to which they rank organically on SERP as well, and through that you can get your daily chunk of news. We used to have caretakers and our friends who used to give us information, but today we have voice assistants. So this, I would say, this enablement of technology with marketing is slowly creeping in, and it would take, I believe, some next 5 years to completely set up in India. But this is very, very important in terms of how COVID has impacted. And lastly, just one more point that I want to say is that for small businesses who do not have that much capital, as I said, right? For them, local searches are going to be very important. Once I would say that COVID pandemic hopefully can, when it's over, we'll have a lot of people going out and kind of exploring new restaurants, exploring new businesses, and they would be having this freedom to choose from everywhere. And now, one thing that you have to understand is they have understood the digital game as well. They can search anything on Google and they can get their answers. So local searches here become very important because those small brands can do local SEO. They can probably get the listing on top and also communicate with their users, engage with them on different social media channels or through, let's say, YouTube or through other organic, mediums. And through that, I think once COVID is over, they'll be the ones who would probably get the advantage. I believe, yes, COVID has acted as a catalyst, and moving forward, we'll see a lot of changes in this particular segment. So yeah, that is the take that I have on this.
Interesting. So I see how the way, with baby boomers coming in and everything, the age bracket that advertisers or agencies as brands sort of target today, the bracket is only going to increase moving forward. Like you mentioned, even the parents and the grandparents becoming tech savvy, and with us moving forward in the post-COVID era, the age bracket is not going to be only limited to, let's say, 15 to 40 or whatever it was, right? So yeah. So let's get on to if you have any list of key takeaways that brands can actually consider to improve their organic strategy.
Sure, Shali. So I think the first key takeaway would be that start today. Right? Don't wait for tomorrow to get started on organic, because as I said, it's a long-term game. Secondly, what I feel is that having a strong technical foundation of your website is very, very important, which again is a part of search engine optimization as we call it, right? So you have to understand that not only users, but how the search engines are kind of perceiving your website. What are the important things that you have to improve in your website to kind of get those users hooked to your website and your content, right? So your technical foundations are very important. The page experience, as we talk about, the page experience has to be optimal so that the users are staying on your website and they're not going away. And third, as I said, that focus not only on organic as a search engine perspective, but also we have social organic, right? We have Facebook organic, Instagram organic. We have YouTube as a wonderful medium where you can kind of capture the audience, because the amount of YouTube users, the amount of video content consumption has gone up drastically in the past few years, because people are generally more into kind of viewing. So the trend in marketing in India, I believe right now today is more set up towards creating engaging content and then following up with great messages out there. And moving forward, we'll see the advent of the technology like chatbots, AI, then voice search coming into picture. And many businesses will start using them. So you have to ensure that beginning today, having a very strong foundational base, and then moving forward and backing up with great content, and then kind of integrating these next-gen technology on your website would be the key, I think, factor to win this organic race. So this is, I think, my takeaway for all the brands out there.
Yeah, thanks for helping us understand or making it more clear as to how the future of marketing might look, especially considering organic. So I think those are some interesting key takeaways. And thanks for connecting with us today. Hope to see you soon and stay safe until then.
Thank you, Rushali. Same to you.